Is it too little too late for Mike McDaniel? Has some of the players come out and said a little bit of a change with Mike McDaniel? Happy Thursday to everyone, and what is up, Finn fans? So yesterday it came out from Barry Jackson that some Dolphin players are saying that there's a little bit of a change with the attitude of Mike McDaniel. Now, he's sitting at 1-6. You got a uphill battle, a huge uphill battle. He's a little too late, right? And then the Dolphins made a roster move, and we got some. Zach Wilson was a little shocked by the demotion and the promotion of Quinn Ewers. But real quick, I do want to shout out today's sponsor, Sleeper. Bam! $20. You get $20. No deposit needed. Go check them out. If you watched yesterday's pick video, go check it out. Again, it is my least viewed video, but I still do it because I love talking about NFL. We use Sleeper, and we use the app so you can kind of see what it looks like. Fantastic. Use promo code DDW. You get 100% matched up to $100. Love the fantasy app. Super fun to use. So let's talk a little news and notes. First and foremost, the Miami Dolphins have placed Darren Waller on injured reserve, which means he is done for a minimum of 4 games. Now, it has been said that it's not that bad. It's just pectoral strain, which is good, yada, yada. But let's also remember Jason Sanders, James Daniels, Austin Jackson. They've been on IR for about 6 weeks, 5 or 6 weeks. So there's no sign of them ever coming off it. They'll probably come off it after the bye, and we're officially eliminated from the playoffs because we've only won 1 game. But yeah, there's that. But we have signed Greg Dulce. I was going to say Dulce to the active roster, which I'm excited to see because I think he could be very good, and I think he should have been brought up when Waller was still dealing with his injury. And we have signed tight end Chris Mayrick to the practice squad. Chris Mayrick was also with the Miami Dolphins at some point. So let's get into this article from Barry Jackson talking about a little bit of a change from Mike McDaniel. I'm going to talk about, is it too little too late? Dolphins report this week saw a Mike McDaniel who was more blunt and seemingly less forgiving of mistakes. Players saw that version of their coach too. Me personally, I like Mike, Kendall Lamb said. Several Dolphins who have been on the team for more than 2 years said Wednesday that McDaniel was more stern in meetings this week. I wouldn't call it fed up, but I would say more locked in on the details. Less room for messing around, less room for blank by SHIT. This is from Cameron Good. Not necessarily being angry, but not letting things slide as much. Here's my question. Why is Kendall Lamb not starting at right tackle? But we still have Borum out there who sucks. Fullback Alec Ingold and offensive tackle Kendall Lamb have similar observations. You can feel his tone. You can feel his sense of urgency, Kendall Lamb saying. I'm not saying we weren't urgent before, but when things go the way they've gone, you have to find ways to reach certain people. Not saying you can come in and are blank to people, which is, he uses some type of explicit, you just know what I'm saying. But at the same time, make the sense of urgency clear. Where I'm not asking you, I'm telling you it has to be done. We're professionals. We play in the NFL. You're supposed to be stern. Me personally, I like this, Mike. I've always liked coaches that assert themselves. I'm not saying you be a blank. DICK. But you assert yourself and let people know what it's supposed to be. I came into the NFL with blunt, brusque Boston College coach Bill O'Brien, so I'm used to the assertiveness. I enjoyed that. So that's from Kendall Lamb. And again, is it too little too late? Kendall Lamb likes this. Kendall Lamb kind of likes the new attitude of Mike McDaniel, more stern, not messing around. Not saying we were messing around before. Like you're trying to listen, man, you were messing around before. We know everyone was messing around before, not taking this seriously. Ingold, who has played for the Dolphins during McDaniel's entire tenure, said McDaniel's approach with players this week was an intentional intentional and necessary pivot. I don't think it was scrapping who he is. Those adjustments need to be made when these results aren't happening. If the results aren't there, what's the definition of insanity? The definition of insanity is what Stephen Ross is doing. Well, until I came up with the idea essentially that he's taking on purpose. Ingold said McDaniel's tone this week has been concise and to the point. It's what needs to be heard, and said. Nobody cares about each other's emotions right now. There's a job to be done, and this is how we're going to do it. It's up to the guys to accept that challenge. During film review this week, McDaniel was coming at it with a little different tone, like no more of this, Good said. We are trying to set the tone from day one, and it's the right attitude, Zach Sealer said. This is nice to hear. Fantastic to hear. Love hearing this. Makes me happy. It's week 8. It's week 8. Hey, you know when this should have happened? You know when all of this change and all this demeanor and all this stuff should have happened after you got the brakes beaten off of you 33-8 to the Indianapolis Colts. That's when the tone should have shifted. That's when the no nonsense should have shifted. That's when all that stuff should have shifted. Not things again coming out that people are still late and we're having a players only meeting and we're trying this and we're doing this and blah 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 blah. No, after you got your face kicked in by the Indianapolis Colts 33-8, Mike McDaniel should have been like, oh, these guys aren't taking this seriously. Let me crack that whip. Let me really crack whatever I need to, some ASSSS, and get these guys focused. But no, it took them going 1-6, 7, 1-7. We're 1-6. We're 1-7. We're 1-6. We're going in. This is now week 8. We're 1-6. It's too little, too late, man. That's it. You lost to the Browns AFC team. You lost to the Bills AFC team. You lost to the Chargers AFC team. You lost to the Colts AFC team. You lost to the Patriots AFC team. Hey, we went on a run again. We started 1-7 and then we ended 7-1. We started 2-6 and we ended at 6-3. It doesn't matter because you keep losing to AFC teams and you keep digging yourself in a hole. And then you go on a little bit of stretch because you're facing bad teams. Knock, knock, who's there? The Browns are a bad team. And you got the brakes being off you then. Too little, too late. Again, my thought process is there is no firing, there is no moves because Stephen Ross wants that number 1 overall pick. And Mike McDaniel seems to slowly be losing the locker room. Now, I'm not saying he lost the locker room, but to me, he is slowly losing the locker room. And you saw it with that Browns game and how bad they played in that game. It was bad with the penalties after penalties after penalties and the plays not getting called in quick enough and just the sloppiness from the offensive line, the horrible play from Tua. It was one thing after another after another. It was bad. Now, Zach Wilson said he was surprised. Zach Wilson and rookie 7th rounder Quinn Ewers remain in an ongoing competition for the second quarterback job after Ewers held the role for the first time last Sunday. Wilson said he was a bit surprised when he learned from coaches on Saturday that he would be the Dolphins' number 3 quarterback against Cleveland. I think it was a bit of a surprise because of the time of the week it was. It was always a competition. You're never going to be handed anything in this league. Asked if he's been happy with his practice performances in recent weeks, he said, I think so. Things to improve, trying to get more consistent in my game. He's been practicing like butt. That's probably what it is. In all honesty, with that answer, he's probably been practicing like crap, and the team's like, ugh. If Tua keeps struggling, we got to put somebody in there. So they're like, we got to have a better backup than this guy who's just sucking wind in practice. I don't think any of us were anticipating that. I don't think it was on our bingo card. Ewers played the 4th quarter, yada yada. It's always a good feeling when your hard work comes to fruition, Ewers said. It was a great experience to be able to touch the field on something that wasn't a preseason game. My family is super proud. I had a good time. Good for him, man. It sucks. And again, people are like, you said you didn't want him to play in that game, because it was a horrible situation to put a rookie quarterback in. If you saw the amount of pressure and the amount of times that our offensive line was just olaying people and letting them in, and the players are slipping and it's raining, it's just, this isn't a situation you put a rookie in, right? Hey, if you're desperate and you're like, well, he's got to learn somehow, then sure, throw a rookie in that situation. But you've seen rookies start games in certain situations, or learn when they're ready, they will start the game. Like even starting Tua against the Rams was such a dumb thing to do when you have Aaron Donald. I think that his first pass, he got blown up by Aaron Donald. It was dumb. Now, am I saying I don't want to see Ewers? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in that crap hole of a game, wait. Just let Tua play out the rest of this horrible game, because you saw what happened. You saw the bad snap because the ball's wet. You saw Ewers getting lit up. You saw him have no time to throw. You saw, it was just a hot mess. And it was a horrible debut by Ewers, but it's not his fault. And I tried telling people that, and I got people on the collective like, yeah, want to start Ewers. Came out with the pitchforks. I'm like, get away from me. Man, if I was Frankenstein and people came out with pitchforks and torches, I would be like, get away from me. McDaniel said Wilson and Ewers. Fun fact, my daughter wants me to be Frankenstein for Halloween. She loves Frankenstein. Monster. Frankenstein's monster. Frankenstein was a doctor. McDaniel said Wilson and Ewers will compete for the job this week. I think the coach staff agreed that Quinn is in this particular game against Cleveland, gave us the best shot if he had to come in. Moving forward, I hope it's not week to week thing. It will be competitive this week, and at the end of the week, I will let you guys know who the backup is, in hopes that somebody grabs and takes it. I was very proud of Zach's understanding that this was not a wholesale change. This was for this game, and all things are on the table moving forward in this competition. We'll settle that on the field. It's very nice to read his transcripts and not have to hear the ums and the uhs and all that stuff. I think he's being very nice. I think Quinn Ewers, again, is going to be the backup. For one, I think he's probably having a better practice. I can't ask the guys on the collective tomorrow because they can't tell us. But I think Quinn is probably having a better practice, and they need to see what they have in a 7th round pick. Do we invest in a quarterback next year, or do we have something in Ewers? I think at some point this season, if the trajectory keeps going in a nosedive as it is, and we are a 1-win team in the bye week, and then we lose to the Jets and the Saints, which, if that happens, you have that number 1 overall pick locked up. I think you see Quinn Ewers for the rest of the season, which is like what? How many more games after that? 4 games. Yeah, I think Quinn Ewers starts the last 4 games. 2 at home, 2 away, kind of gets him situated. Sees what he can do. Yeah, I honestly think that's what happens, me personally. And let me give you a little bit of an update. In a brief conversation at his locker, outside linebacker Matthew Judon didn't express any frustration about being a healthy scratch for the first time on Sunday. The Dolphins kept Quinn and Bell and Good active. Instead, both of those players have value on special teams. It was a game planning thing, Judon said. Coach had a vision in mind and had to got to go out and execute it. Though NFL Network named Judon a potential relocation candidate before the November trade deadline, Judon said that nothing has been mentioned to him about a potential deal to a contender. There's also apparently a tweet out there that says the Miami Dolphins are not going to be a wholesale team. And I'll talk more about this next Saturday when I preview the trade deadline, but there is... the Miami Dolphins are not expected to have a fire sale ahead of the trade deadline, but a pass rusher and 1 other player are expected to be moved. That's from Jeremy Fowler. So again, I will give you more of an in-depth breakdown on the trade deadline and what could or couldn't happen and who we could or couldn't see moved and maybe what we can or can't get. I don't know what I'm saying, but overall, the point of this video, first and foremost, is Me personally, I think for the rest of the season, Quinn Ewers is going to be your backup. I don't think this is going to be a back and forth situation. I think Zach Wilson has been not good in practice, and that's why they made the change to Quinn Ewers. Also, I think it's too little too late. I think Mike McDaniel should have had this attitude adjustment after the Colts game. And maybe things would have been different. Honestly, I don't know. Again, we lost the Patriots game by 1 score. We lost the Panthers game by 1 score. We lost the Chargers game by 1 score. And we lost the Bills game by 2 scores. So, again, a very, very fine line for mistakes is what cost us 4 wins, which would easily put us at 5-2 right now and be tied for first place. Actually, we would be the first place team in the division because we would have beat the Patriots and we would have beat the Bills. But nope, we're not. So ifs and buts, we're candies and nuts. I don't know the rest of it. I know the one that says if my grandmother had wheels, she'd be a bicycle. Or if my aunt had nuts, she would be my uncle. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We are where we are. They were who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook. Comment below who said that. I will see you tomorrow. I give you a special little Thursday video. I will see you tomorrow previewing this Falcons game. Oh, Lord. We'll see how that goes, and I will be live Sunday, 1 o'clock, and then we got a short week. I will be live Thursday, 8:15, hosting the Ravens. Then we get ready for the trade deadline. I don't know if I can get that out. And in between these times, I don't know what I'm saying, I want to look at Tua a little bit more for that Falcons game and that Ravens game, right? I'm going to study them a little bit more. And then next week, the first week of November, I'm going to put a video out and telling you why I think Tua is struggling so much. Because I started talking about it after the first 4 weeks, and I'm going to look at him some more because I have an idea, but I want to study it a little bit more. So if you watch me intently writing during live streams, yes, I write like, oh, okay, what happens in it? But if you see me writing intently, it's because I'm watching him. And I'm trying to see, like, I have a hypothesis. I got to test it. I'll see you tomorrow. Love y'all. You're the best. Hard times. You're still supportive. Means a lot to me. I've been getting the crap end of a lot of sticks lately, too. On the collective, been getting crap ends of sticks on Twitter. People are like, oh. So, I appreciate you. Still got a smile on my face, still love what I'm doing. I still have a good time. I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know why I keep rambling. I just like talking. But like usual, stay classy and fins up.